Hello and welcome to this, my latest chess video. This shows a game between myself as white and my favourite chess engine Numpty, which is 0.7 PR version, as black. There are lots of moves in this game, so I have to move through it very quickly to get them all in on the video. So I'm going straight into it now, and I play my first opening move, the move I prefer, which is 1e4. Numpty plays 1e5, I play knight f3. Here I'm hoping that Numpty will now play knight c6, and then I can play d4 and get to the opening I prefer, the Scotch opening. But instead Numpty plays a different move, knight to f6, and this is the start of the Petrovs defence. It's good for black, and as white you have to be careful. Here I've got several moves. I could play d3 to protect the e-pawn. I could actually immediately play d4 and put on a strong central attack, or I could play knight c3, or I could play the other move that's often played, and this is the move I do play, knight takes e5. Black here though has a simple and effective move, which is d6, attacking my knight, so I will have to move my knight, and I simply move it back to f3, but this leaves my e4 pawn unprotected, and black can simply take there. Now I've got several options. I can, as white, play d3 and attack the black knight, so the black knight would have to move. Or I could play d4 and go for central attack and control on the e5 square. Or I could actually play queen to e2 just to temporarily pin the black knight to the black king. Or I could play the move that I actually do, which is knight c3. And this is known as the Nimzovich attack variation of the Petrovs defence. And here black has a simple move, knight takes knight, and this is going to lead to me having double pawns on the c file. I take back d takes knight c3, and here we can see that the d file is a half open file. There's only one pawn on it, which is the black d pawn, and the e file is a totally empty or open file, no black or white pawn on it. And it'll be interesting through the game to see how black looks to gain central control of the central squares, which are important in chess, and I plan as white to try and control the central squares with my queen and my rook on the d file and the e file. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops during the game. But now Numpty simply plays his dark squared bishop to e7 as a developing move. I continue with bishop to f4 developing. Numpty develops with knight c6, and here I put my queen and bishop on the same diagonal, and that I therefore control g5 square, stopping black doing anything on the g5 square for the moment. Numpty continues development with bishop to g4, threatening bishop takes knight, when at the moment I'd have to take back with my g2 pawn, and then I'd get another set of double pawns on the f-file. I don't want that to happen, so to prevent that happening I play my light squared bishop f1 to e2. Numpty just castles kingside for king safety. I castle at the same time kingside again, and now Numpty plays d5. Now this is the move that Numpty's trying to use his d-pawn to control the centre squares of e4 and c4. And here, so I decide now it's a good idea to follow up and try and use my rook to control the e-file and the centre e-file. So I'll bring my rook from a1 to e1. And now Numpty repositions his dark squared bishop to c5. The move I like here is knight to d4. If Numpty takes the knight with the bishop or his black knight, I can recapture with my c-pawn and undouble my c-pawns. But this has exposed our light squared bishops attacking one another, so Numpty doesn't let me undouble my c-pawns, and instead he just plays bishop takes bishop e2, and I play rook takes bishop e2, so I keep my rook controlling on the e-file. Now Numpty simply develops his queen to d7 to allow the rooks to be connected and try and get the rooks in the game. Seeing as Numpty hasn't taken my knight, I just go ahead, knight takes knight, Numpty takes back, queen takes knight, doesn't want to use the b pawn to take the knight and double his pawns on the c file. And now I reposition my dark square bishop and play bishop to e3, attacking Numpty's dark square bishop. Numpty simply takes off, bishop takes bishop e3, and I simply play rook takes bishop e3, leaving my rook on the e file. So my queen's on the d file, and I'm trying to control those central files and central squares with my queen and rook. Numpty now repositions his queen into the game, slightly threatening the f1 rook, but that's protected and it's not a big threat with the king on g1. I do have to protect the b pawn, so I play b3. And now Numpty tries to reposition his queen, but it's not in a very dangerous spot there, and I actually play now queen d4, hoping to swap off queens. Numpty doesn't want to do that at the moment, and plays queen a5, attacking my a2 pawn, which I defend with a4. Now Numpty vies for control of the e file with rook a8 to rook e8, and it's not a good idea for me to play rook takes rook here back, because Numpty can simply play rook f takes rook e, and his dark rook, his black rook, would then control the e file. But what I can do is double my rooks up, so I play rook f1 to e1, and that now gives my rooks control of that e file again. Numpty plays rook takes rook, and I once again play back rook takes rook, and there we have it. I have my rook control of the e file again. Numpty now plays a rook move to try and get his rook into the game, and plays rook to d8. And I'm a bit concerned about my king. It's not protected with a major piece with it on the first rank, so I just make a little escape square to prevent any checks to the king and back rank checkmates by playing h3 and the escape square of h2. Numpty's played a6, just preparing a queenside pawn attack, I believe, and I play c4. I try and put pressure on the d file, on the d pawn, and on the d rook there. Numpty can't take back. Numpty repositions his king, his queen rather, to b5, b4, and I play rook onto the d file, which gives Numpty the opportunity to play queen to e1 check, but I can simply put my king to safety on h2. Numpty reinforces the d pawn with c6, but I just firstly go ahead and attack the black queen with rook back to the e file, rook back to e3. Numpty moves his queen away to c1, attacking the c2 pawn, and I just now decide to attack on that c file and undouble my c pawn at last. C takes d, and now I play c2, c4, putting more pressure on the d file. Numpty wants to get his queen back somewhere central, so he plays queen a3, and meanwhile I've played c takes d. Numpty does bring his queen back now to d6, which gives a check on my king on h2, which I block with rook to g3. And now I've got a mate threat on g7. Numpty plays g6 to stop that. And I feel now I want to just push on the king side and make my king side attack. So I push f4. Numpty sees he's strong on the d file because he's got his queen and his rook just against my queen. So he plays queen takes d5. I play queen takes queen. Numpty plays rook takes queen. And now I play my rook back to the open centre and to the e file, back where it's been. And I want to carry on with my king side attack. Numpty brings his rook back to the 7th rank to protect the pawns there. And now we're bringing the kings up and the pawns up, attacking king side, and now I start to push my h pawn. Numpty brings his rook in to attack it, and then I defend it with my king. And then we swap off rooks. Numpty starts the attack with his a and b pawns, but I can just defend that. And now I push my h pawn, and I can promote my h pawn, and I can put the queen into a position to stop Numpty promoting, and I bring across my king now to take off the remaining a pawn, and I go to promote the queen, and now I can win the game. My queens are very, very strong, and it's just a quick checkmate now, and that's the end of the game. And I hope you've enjoyed this video and it's been useful. Thank you very much for watching.